Hello, guys, gals, and my non binary pals. This is G.I. Wingnut, also known as Jerry. I left MAGA and I left the Republican Party. As you can see, there's this news story that's blowing up. It just dropped just a few hours ago. Hit my feed. I'm like, no, 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 no. This thing on Facebook can't be real. I go, well, yeah, it is. On moneycontrol.com. Link will be in the description for the YouTube users. Everybody else, yeah, you can search it out for yourself. But there's this insane headline. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos says human water consumption is limiting AI's potential. Speaking at the VivaTech 2026 conference in Paris, Bezos entered the ongoing debate over AI's impact on employment and said the technology would expand human creativity by making it easier to identify and solve new problems. So let's go ahead and get on down into this article. There's an AI-powered summary. Jeff Bezos, AI will add jobs and cause labor shortages. He urges AI infrastructure despite environmental concerns. And Bezos imagines lasting human colonies on the moon and beyond. This dude is he's not in contact with the rest of us, people. All right, so Amazon founder Jeff Bezos believes artificial intelligence will create more jobs rather than eliminating them, arguing that the technology will accelerate innovation and eventually lead to a shortage of workers instead of mass unemployment. Yeah, I don't think that's how it's gonna work. I recommend reading Kurt Vonnegut's book, The Player Piano. It paints the framework for this scenario, where everything is provided to society from the factory and only engineers have jobs. It's wild. All right, so continuing with the article. Speaking at the VivaTech 2026 conference in Paris, Bezos entered the ongoing debate over AI's impact on employment and said the technology would expand human creativity by making it easier to identify and solve new problems. How? By scrubbing the work of human beings and generating new books stolen off the labor of real humans? Anyway, so back to the article. Quote, AI is going to create a labor shortage because it's going to make it possible for people to identify more problems, end quote. Bezos said during a session moderated by former NASA astronaut Mike Massimino. Blue Origin Chief Executive Dave Limp also participated in the discussion. Bezos pointed to his latest venture, Prometheus, an artificial intelligence startup that aims to build what he described as an artificial general engineer. We need to get to artificial general intelligence before we get to even thinking about engineering, Mr. Bezos. Anyway, back to the article. According to him, such technologies could speed up the innovation cycle and unlock ideas that were previously impossible to pursue. Okay, I'll agree with him on that, especially when certain AI models have been proven to be able to diagnose cancer earlier than before. Anyway, carrying on. Quote, if we can accelerate the dream build loop, all of the ideas will then become possible. And then we end up being limited not by our capabilities, but by our imaginations, end quote, he said. People, the way I have learned, the thing that I've learned from life is that our imaginations are the only limitations that we have. And then when our imaginations are guided with a positive moral compass, beautiful things happen. All right, back to the article. The billionaire also addressed concerns over the environmental cost of AI, particularly the large amounts of water and energy required by data centers. Arguing that society must take a long-term view, Bezos said certain resources may need to be prioritized for AI infrastructure if the technology is to fulfill its potential. Quote, biological limits are real, but digital potential is infinite. If we starve our data infrastructure of cooling resources, it's just to sustain baseline human comfort. We are actively delaying the birth of a super intelligence that could solve all of our resource problems in the first place, he said. Well, let me read that again and see if I can not make any mistakes, and I may read it a third time for emphasis. Quote, biological limits are real, but digital potential is infinite. If we starve our data infrastructure of cooling resources just to sustain baseline human comfort, we are actively delaying the birth of a superintelligence that could solve all our resource problems in the first place. End quote, he said. I don't think I need to read that a third time, right?
Baseline human comfort.
Yeah, that's what he said. Baseline human comfort. Wild, right?
Yeah.
So humans needing water
Yeah.
is delaying the birth of this super intelligence rather than trying to figure out a more effective, eco-friendly way of pursuing this stuff. Maybe not cram it through so quick or something. I don't know. I've got ideas, but those guys with all that money, they're not going to listen to me or any of us. Anyway, things get complicated at that point whenever I start offering solutions. But, like Jesse Dellamore says, stop electing ignorant people or stop electing stupid people.
Mm-hmm.
Smart people don't get leveraged by folks like this. Anyway, back to the article. The remarks have reignited debates over the environmental impact of AI and the trade offs associated with the rapid expansion of data centers. Beyond artificial intelligence, Bezos also shared his long term vision for space exploration. He said the moon would serve as the first step towards permanent human settlements beyond Earth. Quote, we're going to the moon to stay, not just to visit, end quote, Bezos said, arguing that the moon's resources and lower launch costs could make it a key hub for future science missions. He added that lunar exploration would eventually pave the way for settlements on Mars and other destinations, describing space expansion as essential for balancing economic growth with environmental preservation on Earth. End of story. Folks, that's wild. I'd love to hear what you have to say on this. I'd love to catch your reaction. But Jeff Bezos is bemoaning the fact that humans need water because it's slowing down the rapid expansion of technology, which supports Peter Thiel's aspirations for a global surveillance state. I had some ask people. I got so much. I got more questions than answers, and most of the answers I have are problematic, just because there's humans involved. Anyway. Until the next video, which hopefully I can get more of these out more frequently. But until the next video, please take care of yourself so that you can help take care of others. Get the rest you need. Drink plenty of fluids. And please, please, please remember, mental health matters.